We've got some weird punctuation in this one. Notice the parentheses, right? People get really freaked out by the parentheses and how it relates to other punctuation marks. The key piece is A, I think, is going to be wrong. I can't think of a single situation where you put a comma at the end of something in a parentheses. But C could be right. The comma after the parentheses, that's okay, because it's kind of like the thing in parentheses is extra information. You can almost ignore it. So it's like, okay, if it weren't there, then the comma would be at the end of the thing that came before it. So let's just look. Let's see what we've got here. This is definitely long. Oh my goodness. I see another dash though, so that usually means we've got a second dash. All right. In addition to advocating for South America's independence in two political treatises, the Cartagena Manifesto and Letters from Jamaica, Simón Bolívar personally led armies against the Spanish, liberating 3 South American territories. Interruption. New Granada, present-day Colombia and Panama, Venezuela, and Quito, present-day Ecuador, from colonial rule. Okay, it's D. Let's talk about why. Where's my sentence? Or better yet, where's my clause? The sentence is this. Simón Bolívar personally led armies against the Spanish. That's my sentence. Everything else is extra. That's just kind of like giving us extra information. So that part at the beginning, it's all just a lead-in. And we have a lead-in, we have a positive, it's a mess. Then we're describing Bolívar liberating 3 South American territories. So I'm going to use red to highlight that, because that's an extra clause that we're attaching with that comma after Spanish. Then the dash is starting an interruption to our extra clause. It's giving us more information about these territories. But the interruption picks up at the end of the dash. So let's read it without the dash pieces. Let's just see how this sounds. Simón Bolívar personally led armies against the Spanish, liberating 3 South American territories from colonial rule. Notice it flows nice. And that's probably a good way to write this, is let your idea complete itself. And then if you need to put these examples, you can always put them at the end. But it's grammatically correct to insert them in the middle as long as we use the right punctuation. And so what choice D is doing here is it's using 2 dashes to tell us where this interruption begins and ends. And the symmetry of the 2 dashes is really good on the eyes. It tells us, right, here we've started, here we've ended, and returned back to whatever we were saying. But also, the thing we're interrupting with is a list. So the list has commas. We also have an interruption right here. This piece that I just underlined is interrupting the initial other extra clause that's at the beginning of the sentence. But notice that interruption uses commas. So why the difference? Because the list has commas already, and to use more commas to start this list and end this list as an interruption would make it just so our brains would explode. That's too many commas. It would be very difficult to know where we are in the sentence. So the benefit of the dash in writing is that it's visually distinctive. It's easy to notice that, like, hey, this is beginning some extra piece and here it's ending. So classic use of the dash. Again, that parentheses doesn't bother me as being right against the dash because it's, again, there's just extra information upon extra information. The parentheses, we could read those, get rid of those as well, and we would still use the double dash there. Very tricky, mostly because we don't write like this. Good, this is a confusing sentence. This is not something I would say is good writing, but that's how the SAT gets us in the hard questions. So we've got to understand the rules and be able to really break a sentence down into its parts so we can understand where the interruptions and the breaks are happening.